Okay, so now you got 2 kids, you're a teenager, you get a fake ID and get a job.
Yeah.
Start being a waitress.
Waffle House. I mean, no, that was the Hutter House.
Hutter House.
Yeah. So it was it was a thing called Hutter House in Atlanta way before the Waffle House got popular here.
Mm-hmm.
And so it was the same thing like the Waffle House, but we would call the Hutter House. So I would go downtown by the Rialto Theater in Atlanta, and I worked the night shift. I think I'm 15, 16, but I got a fake ID, and it was so easy to get back then. Mm-hmm. And I had a baby. I always act older. They didn't question me.
Right. But then you end up losing the job because you get caught stealing.
I used to steal all the time. Yeah.
Professional.
Fuck, I got 2 babies at the
house. There's bigger issues at work here.
I mean, tips.
And these details about paying for this. I got you. Okay, so here you are. You're struggling. The welfare isn't really paying enough to support the kids. And your baby's father started to sell crack.
Yeah, so back up. So I got these 2 kids, and I get pregnant again.
Oh, this is the 3rd time?
Yes, I got pregnant again.
Same guy?
Same guy.
Okay.
And at this time I'm 16, I'm getting a little bit smarter. And I'm like, I can't keep doing this. I don't got no money. I'm struggling with these other 2 kids. Because let me back up a little bit more. I asked my mom to get me an abortion with my 2nd child because I was poor. And I was struggling. And she said, I don't believe in abortions. And so I was still up under her. This is before I became an emancipated minor. And so I got pregnant again. And the caseworker said, I'm going to show you how to become an emancipated minor. I divorced my mama through the court system. And I get rights of myself. And I go get myself an abortion.
Aha.
At Grady Hospital. That was back when they was doing abortions on Medicaid.
Aha. Okay. So you get an abortion, but still you don't have enough money to support these kids.
I supported my kid. I made a way. He became a drug dealer.
Okay,
so when he became a drug dealer, I was getting welfare and food stamps. And so he was paying the rent at a little apartment I lived in Oakland City. And so, he had many women, like most drug dealers did. He had many women, many baby mamas. But I always considered myself the main one because I was naive as hell. And he would pay my rent and stuff like that. And he disappeared one time and I couldn't find him. Couldn't find out he had got busted. He was in jail. So my rent was due. So me and my friend, I took my welfare check and bought me a 8-ball or whatever you call it. I can't even remember. But I bought $250 worth of crack. And I broke it down to right at $500. And I started to go sell it. And I just kept flipping my money. By the time he got out of jail, I didn't need him no more. Mm-hmm.
Right. And this is kind of like the crack era was sort of the mid-'80s. So this was when it actually developed.
The late 90s, yeah. That's when it really hit.
Hit Atlanta, yeah. I mean, hit Cali a little bit earlier.
Yeah.
Right. And you were saying how a lot of the Miami guys were coming in and they were bringing a lot of violence and everything.
Yeah, they was killing everybody.
Okay. So.
They used to call them Miami boys.
The Miami boys, right. Your kid's father goes to jail. You start selling drugs yourself.
Yes.
Now, the drug game is extremely violent, extremely cutthroat. Not only are you dealing with the customers who are doing anything to get drugs, you're also dealing with the jack boys who rob other drug dealers.
Okay, so when I sold drugs, when I sold crack, this was at the beginning. So this was way before the killing. The Miami boys came later. Like, I think they were civilized crackheads back then. A little bit of civilized. Okay. I later on in my career as a drug dealer, I did get robbed. I did get shot. Things did happen, but in the very beginning, I was too small time for anybody to be messing with me. So I was just trying to sell $500 worth of dope or $1,000 worth of dope. And then I ended up going to my old neighborhood one night to see people that I grew up with. And I saw my friend, and he was like, if anybody had any dope tonight, crack tonight, they will make a killing. And I was like, I got some fucking crack in the car. And we sold it so fast. And he was like, can you get more? I was like, hell yeah, I can get more. But it was Baldwin Place. That's where I grew up at. So at the time I was trying to sell drugs in Techwood, the projects where everybody was trying to sell dope at. So when I sold it that night, my friend was like, you need to come over here. Don't nobody work on this street. So I brought all the dope to my old neighborhood on Baldwin Place. And so me and this friend kind of became partners. And then once we became partner, we created a trap. A trap is like almost like what you own, part of the street. That's your block.
Well, you talked about you would actually sell drugs in front of a school.
Yes. So after we built up Baldwin Place, me and my friend, and my kid's father was really jealous and controlling. So we fought all the time. And he just told me one day, he said, I think we should part ways. That's what my drug dealer business partner said. And so he said, because I had started to move down on a place called Ashby Grove. And so he said, I keep this end and then you go to the other end. So I go down to Fair Street bottom, which my daughter went to M. Anthony Jones Elementary. And I started to sell drugs in front of her school. And this was before the no school zone sign, no drug school zone signs.
Yeah, you said you were grandfathered in, so you were allowed to sell there. The signs didn't apply to you because you were doing it before the signs.
I was doing that crap way before them signs got there.
I remember you said, I think it was on the Breakfast Club, you would actually hide the drugs like in your kids' backpacks and stuff?
No, in their drawers.
In their underwear.
When they was babies, I put it in their underwear all the time.
Okay, because the police weren't going to go and search kids' underwear.
No, one time I was selling drugs and we got caught. My cousin got caught because she was underage with me. And because she hid the drugs wrong. And the police issued a warrant. And I said, I'm tired of running. My daughter had so much drugs on her. But I'm not going to say she was trained, but she knew what her mother was doing. And anytime a police was around me, she knew to walk away. So she walked away.
Okay.
With all the drugs, and I went to jail.
Well, there was a crew of police officers called the Red Dogs in Atlanta. They're infamous.
They was infamous, yes.
Yeah, if you watch the new series of BMF, they actually recreated the whole Red Dog
Oh, did
thing.
they?
And I remember Goody Mob talked about the Red Dogs.
Yeah, the Red Dogs.
Stuff like that.
No fucking joke.
It was basically a group of cops that would bust drug dealers, but they were very violent. And a lot of them
beat you, rob you, and lock you up.
Right, and sometimes they would steal the drugs.
Sometimes. What are you talking
Every
about?
time.
All the time.
Okay. What was your worst experience with the Red Dogs?
I didn't have a bad experience with Red Dog. I wasn't violent.
Okay.
So the Red Dog didn't come. They would jump out. Literally, a white man took me down. One little white cop named Beard. He was determined to lock. He said, I don't like your fucking mouth. Because I was underage and I had a Cadillac. And I had like 8 cars. I had a learner's license. I did not have a driver's license. But I knew that a crackhead taught me how to drive. So I started buying all these cars. And in Georgia, you cannot be an underage driver without a person. You cannot drive on a learner's license without a licensed driver in the car.
Right.
So I had crackheads on shifts. I had a first shift crackhead, a second shift crackhead, and a third shift crackhead. If I went over there, they would drive in the car with me because I knew how to drive. That's how I learned how to drive through a crackhead. So every time Beard would pull me over, I would have a licensed driver, which was a crackhead. I have no dope on me because I already knew. So he told me, he said, you're 17. I'm gonna let you sell all the dope you want to sell. He said, bitch, the day you turn 18, you're going to jail. I turned 18 April the 2nd. I was in jail, I think April the 10th.
Okay.